It was a tense night at Scott Wolf's Utah home, one that ended with cops being called just days after the actor filed a restraining order against his estranged wife. According to a 911 call obtained by Us Weekly, an unidentified man phoned police from Scott's house on June 27th, claiming his estranged wife might violate a restraining order and make a scene when he returned home with his 3 children. "I have a restraining order against my estranged wife. She knew what flight we were gonna be on. She might be there with someone else when we get home." Police responded to the Park City home just before midnight, but according to the incident report, no arrests were made and officers left roughly 15 minutes later. So, what's really going on between Scott and Kelley Wolf? Just 2 days before that 911 call, Scott filed for and was granted a temporary restraining order against Kelley, along with temporary sole custody of their 3 children, Jackson, Miller, and Lucy. Court documents alleged Kelley had engaged in an escalating pattern of behavior that posed a substantial threat to their kids' safety. The drama intensified after Kelley, a life coach and former Real World cast member, was detained twice on involuntary psychiatric holds within the span of a month. She claimed on Instagram she was a victim of police brutality during the second incident, sharing graphic photos of bruises, a broken wrist, and accusing officers of throwing her downstairs. But the Summit County Sheriff's Office denies any involvement, clarifying that the alleged incident occurred outside their jurisdiction and that no officers from their department responded at Sundance on July 6th. Since the restraining order was filed, both sides have presented vastly different versions of reality. A source close to Kelley called the court order unwarranted and cruel, while Scott maintained that her actions were threatening. But just this past week, Scott dropped the restraining order after reaching a new temporary agreement with Kelley that outlines custody, supervised visitation, and social media restrictions. Under the deal, Kelley is allowed 3 supervised visits and weekly phone or video calls with their children, but both parents are prohibited from discussing the divorce with the kids or posting about each other online. Just 6 months ago, Scott gushed to Page 6 about his marriage to Kelley before any of this became public.
I feel like it was definitely an eye-opening thing because it's easy to, make presumptions about people's experience on those shows. And I think from being with Kelley, I don't do that at all really anymore, if I ever did. Yeah, she's just the least judgmental human I've ever known. And that applies to her experience with that show, her perception of people in all these shows, and I'm hoping that's rubbed off on me too.
Now the once private couple is entangled in a very public and very messy legal fight. And while the restraining order may have been lifted, this custody battle is far from over.